Hello, Callum. Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Good
Marcin.
time of the day, everyone.
Not morning, not afternoon. We're not quite sure. Somewhere in
No,
between.
so some Vue.js or React didn't work on the chat here on YouTube. I don't know. It's supposed to put the time of the day for everyone.
I was going to say we should probably start just saying that umbraCoffee starts at 11:33 or 12:33 because we end up talking for like 5 minutes before, and then go, oh, we need to go live.
Or we should do similar like some of the podcasts are doing. We haven't talked for a whole week. Then click record and let's go. That's how it is. That's how it is. That will be spontaneous.
But then everyone in watching will see us bad mouthing people. That's all we do. That's all we do.
Maybe it's a topic for another show. Then. How are you, Callum? How is your week?
I'm okay. I'm preparing to go on holiday for 10 days, which is good. Yeah. Whether it will be a holiday or just like same but somewhere else, well, we get to see. But yeah, busy week getting ready for all of that. It'll be good. And my girlfriend's been away this week, which has been exciting. It took me until Wednesday to start talking to myself, which was quite interesting. So I lasted 5 days before I had to start like saying things out loud to feel yeah. No, it's been.
Of course, you were shouting on yourself. Just you left something in the middle of.
We left a mess in the kitchen.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm kind of heading to have a summer break as well at the end of the month, but it's not a break for me. I'll be moving, and as I've said to you before going live, I just realized that 14 days from now, my studio will change. I don't know how it will look, but we are moving, of course, and I have a full week of planned to drive here and there with the boxes, so that's exciting. Plan for the rest of the summer.
How's the house looking? Because of course that's been being built for like a year now.
Yeah, of course, everything is ready, right? Everything is waiting for us. Everyone is running with the smiles on their faces. We are just awaiting to be moved. No, it's not done. It's a huge reference to the IT projects, I would say. I learn a lot from the builders and construction, and same the likewise. I would love to see a lot of things from IT industry in the constructions, but it's exciting. It's probably one of the biggest projects I participated in as a stakeholder in this case. But it's progressing. Probably will be living for a month in my parents' in-laws. So yeah, we'll find out. Still plenty of time to address this issue, but we have very fixed deadlines, so that are not possible to be moved. So we will be there. We will see where. That's the thing. But yeah, the summer is getting over. You have a really nice weather today in London.
We do. It's 33 degrees or something in London today, so I'm very thankful for my air conditioning, even though I've called this episode melting. Yeah, it's nice. It's been nice all week.
Yeah, at least I have an air conditioner already mounted in my new house, so that's ready. That's good. One thing ticked off.
And I think for our Danish friends, it's nice and sunny there, which is unseasonable for August. And I don't know. What about for you, Marcin? Is it warm? It's
warm, but it's reasonable warm. I would say it's like 25 or something like that. So it's not too hot. It's still perfect. So that's fine. And yeah, we're heading to the end of the official summer, I would say. But usually September is still hotter than usual, at least recently. And yeah, some of the people also finished vacation in our community, and some activity is back. And we can we have a lot of topics to talk about today. So let's jump straight on them. Ken Jakobsen finished the holidays as well with a big announcement, of course. So Ken joined the Umbraco team, and Callum, you've mentioned at some Twitter.
When are they going to stop hiring people?
Yeah,
like hiring is super difficult for me and you, Marcin. We're both responsible for hiring. We both want to grow great teams. We've got a fantastic team with lots of Umbraco MVPs, and we want to hire more Umbraco MVPs or potential MVPs. And Umbraco keeps hiring them all. Where are we going to get them from?
Unfair game, and you've predicted it to be an end in 2030, but we'll see. And again, we have some MVP factories like code cabins and things like that. So it's a chain. It's a chain process. We need new MVPs, and then we need to all remember that if employees of Umbraco are hired officially in Umbraco, they cannot be an MVP. So that's the danger. Endangered species.
The program has shrunk by 2 people in the past, about 5% in the last week, I guess. With Ken and Nathan both started.
Yep.
I think they both started around the same sort of time. So, so yeah, that's exciting. And
but of course,
recent years, Emma and people as well have all been hired. So yeah, it's shrinking. But just think how much awesome talent that means is being put back into the product. And I know we've spoken with Ken a lot before, and he's really he was on his pull request streak, wasn't he? He was the PR king at one point, and he said it's like he does pull requests instead of Sudokus. It's his hobby, and that's awesome to be able to do your sort of hobby as your job. And I know from working with him at the retreat and other things, like he's very passionate, very talented guy. So I'm sure we'll see.
That's what I wanted to say. Completely jokes aside, is like a great addition to the team, and big congrats to Ken to transition into making hobby a part of the daily job. We know usually how this transition might look from the beginning of the path, and then how the paths are possible to be changing. And now it seems like both Nathan, we spoke with Nathan last week, and now Ken also seem to be very happy from the change, and what we can just wish for all of us and all of them is to stay as they are, and then keep pushing the Umbraco to the limits, and making our lives better and their lives as well. So yeah, congrats Ken officially, and yeah, looking forward to some another amazing chains of pull requests out there, right? Yes. And then MVP factories, if you are around. Keep producing new MVPs.
And speaking of MVP factories, Seb said in the chat that all three of the people who we just mentioned all came from the core collaborator team. So maybe the core collaborator team is also an MVP factory.
Or generally community teams, right? We had some of that. And speaking about the deadline for the lastly announced team, I don't know if it passed already, but it was last week probably.
No,
it was the headless
one. No, it's coming up. It's on Monday, 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Monday. So if you are interested in being involved in a community team, which I think, as we said last week, this is more of this sort of neo community team. It's less active, a bit more passive. It's more advisory, which is quite good. So just making sure that HQ communicate changes properly or anything like that. Yeah, that's open until Monday. We have a link. It'll be down below. It's somewhere in your list of tabs there, Marcin. I don't really know. Probably towards the end.
Great. We'll find out. Yeah, that's on the but that's from this perspective. We had some releases, of course, this week, starting from Umbraco's forms releases. And we mentioned the RCs last week, and now Andy also released the article where all of the new additions for Umbraco forms are mentioned and gathered all together, and it's a lot of them. Some of them we talked about, some of them are maybe new here, but generally forms looks awesome and looks way better. So many new workflow improvements, so many new data being tracked and exposed better. So that's really exciting. I haven't used forms, to be honest, for a while, but even by looking on it right now, it's like something definitely way better to use now.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. There's still, I mean, it's one of those things where it probably needs now a kind of design or a UX person to go over it. I think for me, that's one of the next big missing things, because the back office, Umbraco back office itself, is so polished, but this all still feels a little bit V7 with the way that it's built and the workflows. So I'd love someone to give it a nice UI overhaul. Maybe they're waiting until V13 for that opportunity, but yeah, like it's very, very feature rich now. Does so much stuff.
Yeah, and way more stable and more performant from all of the inputs and voices we hear, right?
I'll talk about that. So we found there's an issue. We found an issue on a V7 site, and we're still doing some digging to actually get to the bottom of this. But effectively, Umbraco Forms on a V7 was taking down the entire site. We're using an Azure setup, so we've got blob storage there. Blob storage is obviously a service for storing data. It communicates over HTTP, and therefore every time you make a request to blob storage, it opens up a TCP thread, and you make the request and you get the data back, and that's all good. However, there's limited amount of TCP threads that your server can handle at any given time, in a number of requests. And we found an issue where on V7, admittedly, and this isn't an issue in V9 and beyond, we've seen, but it makes a request to load every single form from blob storage in one go, and then does a couple other requests every time you load a form. Meaning we had a couple hundred forms plus workflows for each of them. So it made a few hundred calls to blob storage every time you loaded a form. And then every time you hit that page, they just start to back up. And so you hit it 10, 11, 12 times, and suddenly you've tanked your server. Yeah, again, there's an issue.
And of course, blob storage also has a limit, right? So that's it all comes with
indeed.
the...
It does indeed have a request limit. So yeah, we've done some interesting things, tried to patch it. I know that Jason on my team's been talking with Andy to see if we can reliably reproduce this and come up with a fix. There's an obvious potential cause, but it's the kind of why that's happening. So yeah, really interesting one. But it is definitely more stable in later versions. Like we've been we've decompiled some bits when we've been trying to diagnose this issue. I didn't say that. And like bits that were just obviously very broken in V7 and V8 are way nicer now in V9 and 10. So.
I've seen some of it already as well, and that's why I think like it's at least now you have also the single point of contact and person who might really affect the changes and kind of, it's hard to say guarantee, but generally the definitely an addressed problem and person who might really help you. So that's really great, and still it's being used effectively by many solutions, and it's getting way better and more. It's helping it's helping Umbraco and projects with Umbraco to reach out more people for sure. Another one which is helpful and getting the new versions released recently as well. It's God mode, and this time for Umbraco 10. Still one of my favorites packages since the days when we didn't have access to any of the infrastructure of our clients' projects. So now a new release of it with some new additions and also abilities to browse some new cool things in the version 10 project.
Shows you the services registered and like content finders, URL providers, which actually is really helpful because when you're trying to set, every time I've done this, I've like a URL provider, I've gone, why is it not being hit? And it's something to do with the registration order or something. Actually, this would be really handy. So good job.
So right now, and again, what I was thinking at some point, and I can't remember if we finally checked it, but there were some interfaces that we could implement, even though to expose some of our custom elements there. I can't now. I don't want to lie again through the episode, but we were investigating if we can extend the God mode dashboard with some our custom sub dashboards, I would say, or drop downs. That would be really effective and helpful. But no matter what, it's still by default when you install it, it shows an amazing set of insights for anyone who might want to know more. And especially it was very helpful in load balance solutions across the multiple devices, servers, and then we will be able to know more and have everything basically about the server where we are running the solution on. So check it out if you haven't checked it out yet. The next release we want to talk about today is Patrick's SEO toolkit, version 2.1. That is now on Nougat, I've checked recently, and I can't remember who I showed the SEO toolkit, but we've been seeing the demo here from Patrick directly. It's an amazing package, still growing, and now it has some changes, and it also now includes all the HTML, CSS, and JS statics assets instead of build events as it was doing before. So now it seems
that a Razor class library? There is he bundled it all together as a
probably we need to check it. Change meta deleted the Razor files to the charger. Let's see. Open source.
Looks like it. I noticed the other day I did a V10 upgrade, and the only files in our app plugins folder are currently Skybrid redirects. Everything else that we've been using has been moved to an RCL, so use sync those sorts of things, which is really cool to see. Again, super low footprint in the application.
And more control over the packed version usually. It's definitely way
caching, etc. Amazing.
Cool. So yeah, check it out if anyone was using the package and wants the updated version. And the next one is our HTAG editor from Soren, the package installs the ability to add and edit and manage headlines in all of the views. And if I remember correctly, that was the visual representation of the package, so we can easily select the size or the type of the headline.
This is really nice because it ties it with a tag helper in .NET. So for rendering, actually, this is super clean. I've seen there's been implementations of this before. I think even USkin and similar has that sort of control. But it's nice that this is simple, install it once, very lightweight package, and with all the helpers to come with it.
Yeah, indeed, very clean.
I think it's just for V10.
Just for V10. And the next one is ShareX custom uploader, also from Soren. And this package adds a context menu to all folders in the Umbraco media section. Looks like.
So I didn't know about ShareX until I saw this today. So ShareX is like a screen sharing tool, or a screen recording tool, screen capture tool, and this effectively allows you to paste this blob of JSON into that tool, and then generate a screen capture or that will then upload maybe directly to.
Yes,
I'm not quite clear, but that's really cool. So you can say, I know I've used these tools before, like Loom, and they're for like screen recording gets updated in the cloud. This puts them in the media library in the CMS.
I've been using. I can't remember the name of it, but I used the one that was automatically updating things to some cloud storage whenever I took the screenshots, annotated screenshots, and it looks like ShareX is one of these where we can edit the destination of the screenshots and files and point it to the media section. Extremely useful. I see one use case here. We've built a media portal back in the days for radio, one of the radio stations, and they had the reporters who were taking pictures on various events and sets. Imagine the situation where they can take the pictures, do them, take them from the card on their machine and just upload them through their machine without logging, doing anything crazy.
It's a great idea. So then, it's available to the news editor who's writing up an article
already. That was a challenge then. So now it seems like it's easier to accomplish. So really good one. And the next one is another one from Patrick, the awesome Umbraco list, now updated with the updated with the version 10. And still, I use this. The fun fact is usually when we do something like this, when we talk about things, then the week after, someone asks me, where are the best resources about Umbraco? How I can learn Umbraco. So, one thing, we have an awesome Umbraco list with a V10 updated content.
Marcin, it sounds like you're finding people who aren't subscribed to umbraCoffee.
Probably, yes, that's true. Again, but they would know it, right, if they watch it and they click the links. But now I pointed them to the episode when we talked about it, and then of course this awesome list of awesome Umbraco things, and that's really looks great and full. I would say it's extremely hard to find a lot more about where to start and what to do with Umbraco.
And Patrick did say on Twitter, if he's missed anything, do a pull request. It's open source, of course, so everyone can contribute.
And still, there are a couple of them waiting since February 2018. So submit your own pull request. And last but not least, there's one update to the package from team called Whole Thing Fallback text editor. And Dean messaged me today about the updates to the package and why it's worth to mention here, because the team needs testers. They introduced the partial support for block editor, and now they need to extend it. And of course, the not everything works as perfectly yet. So if there are people who used maybe fallback text property and want to combine it with the block editor, there is a new version 1.3 that awaits feedback and testers and some new improved abilities. And I really, really like this description here. I know we've been talking about it then, right?
Yeah.
It
would be very cool to automate. Or I know I've spoken to several before as well. It'd be really cool to automate this, because if you don't, it's blank, or it's just says package description. It's not great. And I think the NuGet team could do a better job of pulling these things in as well. If they've got the Git repository, they could check for a README and whatever. I don't know. But, looks great.
And generally, of course, the package, if we didn't mention it, is used to provide the fallback content for another type of content, and can be used like described here. And yeah, inside of the blocks, wherever there's a lot of fallbacks that we write usually in the code. So why not to make them editable by editors if it's needed, if it's required? So really cool stuff.
Very cool.
And yeah, test it out if you want to. And that's from the releases perspective. We have some meetups happening, and one of them I co-organized with Lars Erik in Oslo next week. I'll be there from Wednesday to Saturday. So on Thursday we meet and we will talk about enterprise Umbraco solutions. And Lars also wants to demo some integration testing for content views on Umbraco 9 Plus with .NET 6 and splash of Excel. And that was something that interested me in the most. So how to combine integration testing with Umbraco, Excel, and .NET. I'm really curious about it. And also what we want to discuss is how to and why, and should we upgrade to Umbraco 10 or rebuild or do something else with that. So things exciting. I'm still looking for people from Norway or Oslo to attend. So if anyone is watching us now, join and come there to our office and discuss the stuff, basically. The next one on the list is CPH Meetup that is happening on August 24th. Nothing more since.
So yeah, Marcin and Mikkel are going to talk about cloud, which I think this is sort of the talk they did at Code Garden, but maybe a changed, slightly updated version. But yeah, it's going to be in a few weeks.
Yep, 24th. The next one is a barbecue. Callum,
today. Yeah, we're doing a barbecue today in London.
Shuffle the
order.
Good.
We've got good weather. So yeah.
Yes.
Not much more to say on that one.
And last week there was a virtual barbecue.
Virtual. I mean, we just had a few drinks on Zoom, basically. And then coming up, I think next week. Is that next week?
Leeds.
No, it's not next week. It's
2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Phew. 26th in Leeds, we're doing another barbecue. That'll be the last one for the summer. Fingers crossed the good weather sticks around that long. It always rains in the north of the UK, so we'll have to see.
Cool. So yeah, 2 weeks from now. And last but not least, at the end of the month, there's a Wessex Umbraco meetup hosted by Jason, 2 others great organizers, and you attending, Callum?
Yeah, I'm going along.
So venue and speakers to be announced, but yeah, save the date if you are around. August 21st, 6 p.m. out there. That's all about meetups. And we have a couple of other things to mention, starting from only necessary. Starting from Dennis. Adelphi appreciation time. Callum, do you want to take the segment?
I don't mind. It's just a unit testing blog post. He's been experimenting with unit testing and Umbraco 9 and 10. He said he's going to update some of the docs as well. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, and I saw that Dennis promised someone on Twitter from Umbraco team that pull request is flying to their end. So we all will benefit from it, and that these are great explorations usually from Dennis. So good to see this coming and more of the details information about the unit testing for Umbraco 10. The next one is about is a new video from Warren and Hack Me Do series. What is Umbraco 3 searcher fields? I haven't seen this one, to be honest, but I'm extremely curious.
This is something that I should have included in my Code Garden talk about features you thought existed or don't know about. So it's a way of extending the back office core search to say search over these additional fields instead. So you can extend if you've got like a product ID, for example, on products, and you want to be able to search them by their product ID or SKU, and they're not in the name or the typical fields they search. Then they become searchable. Really, really cool.
That's really cool. And I remember some topics and discussions about it when it was all about replacing Examine with some other search providers when it comes to this search. But it seems like this use case is extremely exciting when it comes to the custom content, document types, and the search. And I know, and that's another thing that I remind myself, that a lot of people are using this search. I don't know what about you, Callum, but I'm not using this one too often, to be honest.
No,
I know that a lot of people are. Right?
This sounds very weird, but sometimes when I need to go and find a bit of information about a specific node, I actually use the examine dashboard in the back office and just do a quick query there. It's a little bit more full featured, and then I can also test out like a proper Lucene query to go, make it a bit more restrictive. But yeah, I use that a lot. I don't use the back office search. That's just clearly it. Maybe we need an examine mode on the
I see two solutions. One is do not make examine dashboard prettier, because then we won't use it.
Yeah.
And second one is make the general search more dev friendly, so more ugly this way.
It's an easy fix. Just delete the style sheet for that dashboard, and then
or do it in console then instead of. but no, that exactly, that's the same issue which I see. It's like it's very usable, and again, Warren proved here that how easy it can be extended and tailored for the specific not only editors but also developers needs, maybe, right? We can have a custom fields to search there, and that's really cool. And I still need to improve the skills, and I can't remember who was doing this talk back in the days, maybe Sebastian, some things and tooltips for working with Umbraco.
Yeah,
that was
tools
also
the tools and stuff. That's a good talk. He had like a big wheel that you spin and it will just choose a random one and will show you a tip.
Yep, that's true. So yeah, check it out if you want to extend the search tree fields and make the search better there. And the next one is umbraCollab, and it was a candid contributions takeover of umbraCollab. I watched it as well, so I don't know what exact topics were covered there, but
it was upgrading a cloud site to V10, which I'm going to watch this video because I did this last week and it was not fun. So really not fun. They make you delete all these files from Kudu manually and then from your solution locally as well. And then I had to, in fact, even after I deployed, it still wasn't picking up that it was version 10. None of the migrations had ran, not that there was anything really to run, but like the back office version was still showing V9. So I had to delete the entire application and just do a fresh, clean deploy. Was not the best fun. So
it was from version 9 to version 10, right? That's
it was, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, still worth to see then and see if it was a happy path or there were still some issues on the way to explore. But that's a good one, and probably I will also save it to watch later. Yeah, I will do that. And the next one is our reminder for all of the people interested in the Dutch festival that is happening on 7th of October, so really soon again. And there is a call for speakers that ends on 15 August. So we are on 12th. I needed to check. I thought yesterday that we are on Tuesday and it was already Thursday. So yeah, Friday 12th it's today, and we have the deadlines until the 15th. So yeah, still plenty of time to apply.
Well, yes, long day, and don't get caught up. I mean, not that it applies for you, Marcin. Don't get caught up by time zones. That's That's 11:59 p.m. CEST. So an hour earlier in the UK or wherever you are. It's not local to your time zone. So yes. Also, just to shout out there, the tickets are of course on sale. If you don't fancy speaking, you can go to df22.nl and you can buy tickets there. They have early bird tickets, and I believe they are available until the end of the month. And then there's two tiers. You can either buy a ticket for just general attendance, or you can, for a little bit, I think 50 euros more, you get an evening with like dinner and entertainment. And I know the kinds of events that Henk has been putting on for Microsoft type things recently. They've always been fantastic. So that I think that evening thing would be well worth doing if you can make it as well. But yeah, you got till the end of the month, I think, to lock in an early bird rate.
And I'm so big fan of this visual representation of this lion and the conference. And yeah, we've been all attending some of the previous versions of it, and it's definitely an event to recommend, considering if it's feasible and reasonable to attend. But yeah, that's good. And of course, there is a speakers submissions that are still being collected. So yeah, that's Dutch Fest, and the headless community team that we mentioned before. This is the article in my tabs. Just to remind us all, there's a deadline to apply to a team, and as you've mentioned previously, Callum, it's less involving team than some of other ones. It has a requirement to attend 4 virtual meetings during the year to basically have a sounding board and discussions on various topics, including HTML, Next.js, Remix, Netlify, GraphQL, OpenAPI, and all the other crazy things that are connected usually with headless development, not only with the headless Umbraco, which is important to mention. So if you feel like it's something for you or something where you can have some cool input, apply. Deadline is August 16th, 4 p.m. Central European time. Yep, and 2 more things on our list. Great first issue shared this week by Sebastian on Twitter and created here on GitHub. Very well documented with the proper and clear steps to reproduce the problem, expected result, and everything else. So if there is anyone who is watching us maybe and awaited a perfect issue and perfect task to collaborate and help Umbraco, probably it's one of these ones. And yeah, partial view with snippets doesn't work in Umbraco 10 and 9. So you can help everyone to make this work, and the work is described here how to do it almost. So yeah, find time, pick the issue, and enjoy the being the contributor in Umbraco ecosystem. And last on our list, something what we spotted on the blog post this week, a combination of benchmark.net, the library we've been talking about, Callum, on one of the code governance about regarding the performance around
many years ago. Yeah,
many years ago. Benchmark.net and Umbraco. So how to benchmark and profile specific executions inside of the code. This in combination with Umbraco services and everything around that in Umbraco startup. So yep, really great blog post, really simple explanation of how to do it. And what I flagged also as on the reply to this tweet on Twitter was that I've seen a lot of new and updated tests in the Umbraco repository, in Umbraco source code. So for all of the fans of performance, benchmark.net, and everything else performance related, there is a great set of tests already inside of the Umbraco repository. So go and check them out, because that's how we've been also discussing it back in the days, and now we can all take it out, use it, and extend with our custom benchmarks. And still, we have not too many of them, I would say, publicly available. I know you Callum, and your team, you were profiling a lot of Umbraco stuff recently too. It's always good to have some numbers and information and feedback from how it's performant or not.
I mean, there was obviously the U benchmarks, wasn't there? That solution way back, and Shannon did his talk a year or 2 ago at Code Garden showing some of the internal benchmarking tools that they've got, but those never have been publicly shared again and surfaced or ran regularly. So I don't know what the result is.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was thinking about. It's like the more the merrier, of course, if there's anyone who is measuring it. And fun fact is that our teams recently dived into the front-end performance metrics, but not from the front-end rendering performance, but more like a server-side rendering, Node.js, deep front-end on the back-end stuff. That's simultaneously same exciting as I would say benchmark.net, because for me, for example, I don't know anything about it. And I was just excited to see how simple change of the framework can improve the performance. So if there are people who are measuring it effectively on Umbraco or outside of Umbraco, shoot out, let us know, share the metrics, share the findings, because then we can all improve and align with it.
Indeed.
And we know that if we are not measuring, we are not improving. So yeah, that's how it is. And that's all from our list, probably.
That's it.
Hopefully we didn't miss anything. If we did, tell us and let us know. Yeah. So cool. So you're heading to the barbecue today.
Yes.
And we'll have a good and long last hot week, hopefully. So yeah, next week I'll be in Oslo. So hopefully I'll find a space to take a proper stream out there. So yeah, have a good rest of the day and the weekend ahead, everyone, and make us busy with the next week's episode. So tell us more what you do. Yeah, that's all what we wanted to share today, right?
Indeed, yeah. Have a great week, everyone. See you. I'm off for a week, so I'll be back soon.
Nice. Enjoy the week off then, and enjoy, everyone. See you next Friday.